You know what? Excellence is what you want, and excellence is what you get. How are you living? What are you giving? If excellence is what you see, then excellent is who you be. What are you pursuing? It's all up to you. And when you come and make up in your
Hello, 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 beloved. Dr. Catherine E. James here, bringing you For the Love of It, a weekly television show designed for the sole purpose of adding more love into the world, one episode at a time. Thank you for sharing your precious time with me. I am grateful to have you join live, whether you come now on our Fridays, 11:30 to noon, or whether you're here, you're watching on the on-demand HPR TV 33 on demand. However it is that you're watching, I am so grateful that you are here, that you spend time. Now, if you're watching in person today, I am going to invite you to call in because you know that I like engagement, or perhaps you don't know. So let me tell you, I love engagement. So you have 3 numbers below that you can call in from, and I would love to have you call in. Call in sooner than later so we're not rushing if you've got some juicy stuff to talk about. Because I always have some juicy stuff to talk about. For the Love of It will take many forms because we just don't ever know what Papa has in store for us, right? Everything will be anchored in Luke 10:27. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, strength, soul, and mind, and thy neighbor as thyself. It's that last part, the as thyself, that is our mandate, our mission, the whole sole purposes of why we do what we do. Is that last part, as thyself. It is my life's intent that every soul would know love and know that they are loved. Everything that I do, I'm leaning in that direction. Sometimes I do it really, really well, and sometimes I miss the mark. But it's still my life's intent. And so I'm always trying to grow and promote and expand that every soul knows love and know that they are loved. So to that end, beloved, to that end, every conversation we have, that we facilitate, all the tools and strategies we share, the guests we have on the show, and the actions we invite you to take will all intended to lead you to live out the assumption of Luke 10:27, that you're going to love well, right? Okay. So today we are, I just decided I love how Papa uses me and how he just, gives me these brilliant ideas, right? As I give space and opportunity to receive. So today I decided it makes sense to end the month. We're just going to make July Yvonne's month, Yvonne's World Month. We're just going to make it Yvonne. Yvonne was my mother, and you all know we did a show on the 14th that honored her. And then we talked about her last week. So next year, we're just going to do the whole month about Yvonne or Yvonne's World or things that are connected to Yvonne. So this show, 7, is all about her. It's all about her or her impact on my life and many other lives. So here we go. 713 Yvonne's World is a future nonprofit that will be designed to ensure, get this, to ensure that everybody has somebody. Do you hear that? That everybody has somebody. Some kind of way, y'all, we have gotten to a place in our world, in our society, even in our community, where people are alone and lonely and don't have a person. Like, that blows my mind, just to be totally honest with you. I know how it's possible because I'm a therapist, but it blows my mind that that could even be with all of the people that exist, with the fact that we came up in families some kind of way, family of origin or family that we made up, something. So it blows my mind and my heart hurts when that's someone's lived reality. So my goal is to lessen that. I'd like to rid it from humanity, period. Because imagine if we lived a world where everybody had somebody, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we have that come from the internal hurt that people suffer. So, and when I say have somebody, I'm saying somebody who, well, let me stay the script because I'm getting ready to get off. I'm going to go back and talk about Yvonne, and it's somebody similar to Yvonne. Just pick up the nuggets. So I was blessed to have Yvonne Woods as my mother. Yvonne was the oldest of 8 girls, the oldest girl of her of 8 girls, yes. She was an amazing and absolutely amazing grandma. You know the kind of grandmothers, the kind of grandmas, right? We ain't call them grandmothers. They call it the kind of grandmas that kept all the kids. And she had 4 girls and all kinds of surrogates and heart children and nieces and nephews. She kept all the kids, right? A grandma who cooked all the time, who washed and ironed. She always had, so it's so funny. She was from the old school. Whenever she ironed, she always had a crease in her pants. I'm just saying. It didn't matter if it was jeans or some white shorts. She was going to have a crease in her pants. Penny loafers with the pennies in them. That kind of grandma. She had this unique way of being that left an indelible mark on me, not only me, but countless others. If she had anything to do with it, everyone would have a person. If she had anything to do with it, everybody would be supported and all would have a place to call home. Imagine a world like that, beloved. Imagine a world like that. We talk about Yvonne's world, so we're going to do a nonprofit that leans to these pillars. That, our goal, our mission would be that everyone has a person. Maybe it's the vision. The vision to see that everyone has a person. Everybody would be supported and all would have a place to call home. And our mission would be to put things in place to make this a true reality, right? Mama wasn't very lovey-dovey. She just wasn't. That wasn't her style. And I love yous weren't necessarily plenteous. And you might have needed to hug her first. I'm just saying. That's just the real truth. And although she didn't have a lot of money, she would spend it on you. And she would give you her last. That was my mama. She didn't have a car to get to you and all who she loved. And so she would ride the bus, she would take cabs, she would travel for hours, right? And there would not be a birthday without a card, not in Yvonne's world. And in her own way, she consistently loved well, in her own way. And so many, I and so many others are the benefactors of Yvonne's love. And it keeps giving. It never stops giving. So a lesson here. Mama wasn't perfect. She had some real struggles. She really did. Now, as we all do, I had or have an option of focusing on what worked or what didn't work. So even with Mama's struggles, I had the option of focusing on what worked or what didn't work. And I did better at different times. When I was younger, I probably focused more on what didn't work. We just don't have the wisdom when we're younger. And then as I got older, but quicker, earlier, pretty early, I began to focus on what did work. And that was a blessing. So not lovey-dovey. And yet she provided as best as she could and was consistent in her provisions. Didn't say I love you or hug you first. And yet she would repeat it if you said to her. Now, I want you to get this lesson. I want you to get this lesson, beloved. And don't hesitate to call in. The numbers are below on the screen. Call in. Let's talk about it. If you identify yourself, if you want to talk about it, get some tools and some strategies, because I'm gifted at this. I just am, right? I'm gifted at, you're gifted at something too. And I hope that you are confident enough, that you love yourself enough. I hope that you're willing to say it, because if we don't know you're gifted, we don't know to come to you for the benefit of your gift. So I'm gifted in this. And helping folk to love themselves well and release themselves from bondages that they put themselves in because of the absence of self-love. I know that was a lot right there, so just rewind. So, have you ever found yourself not, you could fill in the blank. Have you ever found yourself not because someone else didn't? For instance, have you ever heard yourself saying, well, they didn't speak? My question to you is, did you speak to them? They might say, well, they didn't come over. My question to you is, did you go over? You might say, they didn't call. My question to you is, well, did you call them? Right? It's a two-way street. And I know we think some people are too supposed to or whatever. But the reality of it is if they didn't and if they don't, what's your role? What are you gonna do? How are you gonna make it? How are you gonna get what it is that you want to get? It's because it becomes clear to me that mama didn't do a lot of things because it wasn't what they did growing up. Like, she didn't have the insight or the awareness to do it. So I had the choice of being upset with her about what she didn't have, or I could accept her as she was and get my needs met in other ways, or ask for it, or do something different that might invite her to do something different, right? And so what I did is I invited and she accepted. It's funny, after a while, even though we didn't grow up with a bunch of I love yous and hugs and things like that, you can't tell it by our family now, because we greet with hugs and kisses, and we end up with hugs and kisses. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Would not have it any other way. There's studies about the absence of human touch and the problems that it lead to. Safe, healthy human touch. Um, so where am I? So when we think about, I said, basically I'm saying she came to expect it. So even though it wasn't her norm, it normalized so much that even if she doesn't initiate it, if I was to come in after a while and, lost my mind for a second or was distracted and didn't go up to her and hug her and things, she would say something like, hey, Kathy, or whatever, like, oh, hey, Ma, whatever, that kind of thing. So she came to expect it, and if I didn't, she would mention it. I could have gotten upset. Here's the lesson. I could have gotten upset. The numbers are below. Call in again. You're welcome to call in. I would love to have a conversation with you about it. Now, I could have gotten upset at her, the way that she showed up. But this is the thing. When we fight for our limitations, our anger, our frustration, our victimhood, our pissed offness, fill in the blank, whatever it is for you, when we fight for them, when we justify them, when we have sexy excuses for them, we get to keep them. Well, I ain't talking to them because they ain't talking to me. Well, do you want to talk to them? Well, reach out and touch. Reach out and talk. Reach out and call. Well, I'm not doing it because they didn't do it to me. I don't get that. You want it. Go for it. What limitation are you protecting? Pride, ego, all that stuff gets in the way. What are you protecting? Your emotional home. What's your emotional home? Where you are emotionally, beloved, let me just say it's your choice. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's your choice. Where you are emotionally is your choice. What story you choose to tell yourself is going to generate the emotion that you have. What story you choose to tell yourself, we got a caller. Yes, yes, yes. Caller, you're on the line.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just want to say I love the show. I'm sitting with my daughter, and we were kind of just talking. It was funny you were mentioning how your family like wasn't loving outwardly, but now it's changed.
Yeah.
And like as soon as you mentioned kissing, like my daughter started kissing me, which is kind of similar like to how I grew up. I knew I was loved, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a lot of like showing of love and physical love, and like I kind of lived like that for a while. I had my daughter, like it changed extremely. It kind of made me softer, made me more, showing outward love. So I think that's a very, very, very real thing.
I love that. This is my nephew.
Yep.
Hey, honey.
How are you?
I'm
Hello,
Hey, Lyric. How are you, honey?
I'm good.
I love the way you all love each other. I really do. I love it. It is such an amazing, isn't it amazing how, things will change us, right? Lyric
Yeah,
changed and made it and helped to make it normal for you.
yeah. And it's a new normal. So
It's a new
now
normal.
I'm kind of working through, like, I have a son now, and he's a 13-year-old boy. So
Yeah.
love is very different from showing my 7-year-old daughter love. So it's kind of fun navigating that space with him now, and like taking him to get a Oreo McFlurry is like the most loving thing in the world that you can do for him. So like I have to hug and kiss him. It's just a McFlurry. So like learning how to navigate, love and showing love in different ways. I think you are very, 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 very helpful with that. And your story kind of hit me because it kind of mirrored my story a little bit. So I had to call in.
I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. Lyric, what you want to say before you hang up?
Nothing. I just
Nothing.
want to say I love my daddy and family really much.
Oh, that was a perfect ending. Perfect. I love you back, honey. She said she loved her
All right.
daddy and family very much. Talk to y'all soon.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in. That was an absolutely amazing call. Right on time. So, beloved, basically, so that was Pastor Chioki from Shiloh Deliverance Church, Shiloh 2.0. That's my nephew, y'all, and my niece. So, Shiloh 2.0, as a matter of fact, we have Friends and Family Day this Sunday at 10 a.m., 18350 Schaefer in Detroit, Michigan. Be sure to join us. And so I love that because just because it doesn't happen doesn't mean love isn't there. People really do what they know to do, but if you need something different, become something different. One day I'll tell my story of how it shifted for us in our family, but I want to continue talking about mom and mama. And so if we fight for our limitations, we get to keep them. What's your emotional home? As for me in my house is what I have on my copy here. So wait, where you are emotionally is your choice, and that, beloved, is actually the good news. Because if it was someone else's choices, then that means they would be able to manage and control how you show up in the world. But where you are is your choice, even though it might be difficult and you might not know how to do it. If you don't, contact me. You can email me at selflove@drcatherineejames.com. Selflove@drcatherineejames.com. You can email me there. Go to my website. You can send me a message. But the email is the best way to do it. I'm just saying. Because I can help you with that. I can help you with that. As for me and my house, this house right here, we choose freedom. We choose emotional freedom. Because, why? Because it is indeed our birthright. My heart aches at the thought that so many don't have what mama readily provided for an astronomical number of us over her lifetime throughout the years. Yvonne Woods was a representation of the epitome of the extended family experience. A place to belong, to love and be loved, to be cared for and looked after, to be supported and fed, to be accepted just as you are. That was her superpower. She accepted, and we, as her children, we didn't appreciate it growing up. Now, we were the benefactors of it, but we wanted it. But some people we wanted her to get and reject, right? We did. We was like, Mama, why you let them? But I'm so glad that she was herself. I'm so glad she was herself. We didn't know no better. I'm just saying. I am in no way saying that Yvonne was perfect. Of course she wasn't. Who is? But I will shout from the rooftop that she was perfect for me. Never was there a time I wondered if she loved me. Never was there a time when I wondered if she cared about me. Never was there a time when I wondered if she would protect me to the best of her ability. Never was there a time when I wondered if she accepted me. She was safe place. She was my first safe place. I miss her. I miss my mama. I miss my mama. I want this for everyone. I want this for everyone. I know this may sound utopic, like utopia, like thinking. I have a tendency to think like that. I just want to believe. I'm going to believe. I'm a glass half full. I had to become a glass half full. And so here's I am. I want a world where no grandchild is without the love of a present, active, intentional grandma or granddad. I want a world where every adult child is able to get into their mother's or whoever represents as their mother their mother's bed and feel safe. I want a world where each person knows at least one person who loves them unconditionally. I want holidays that are robust with sense of joy and all the delicious foods and energy of togetherness and belonging. For all of my days, I will promote this as a lived reality, something that we can get to. I will use my time, resources, energy, imagination, body, communications, connections, and community. I will leverage all relationships with myself, with Papa, and Papa's beloved to manifest this for as many as I can. Are you in? Are you in? Join me. First of all, if you haven't joined the movement for the love of it, I'm inviting you to join. Go to my website, click on, More Love Please. Click on More Love Please and join the movement. That's how you can help me. Love yourself more. Will you join me in making sure that all somebodies have a person? I hope you will. It will certainly make this world a better place for all of us. How? Well, self-love is my tool, it's my strategy, it's my secret. Again, Luke 10:27. It's not my secret. It's not so much a secret weapon, right? It's my methodology. It is my God-inspired process. I love me well. I am intentional about loving me well in order to have love to give to y'all. I'm just saying. I steadily pour into my cup so that I live more often than not in the overflow so I can serve from my saucer and not my cup. Whole lesson right there. How do I do it? And I got a whole list of here. I'm not going to read them all. I spend time with Papa most mornings in meditation. I try to do it every morning, but I don't. I get life from reading life-giving things, the Bible and otherwise literature and other things. I speak life to myself. I keep my commitments to self and others. I have fun on purpose. I dance. I have conversations. I celebrate. I forgive myself when I fall short. I hydrate this body. I try to eat good food. I exercise consistently. Love others on purpose. I show up for others. I tell myself the truth first. I celebrate myself all the time. Let me just tell you about this morning in my office while I was preparing this copy. First, I started listening to Teddy's Jam, Hustle music, is what it's a hustle I love. Then I listened to I Don't Need It by Jamie Foxx. It's another hustle song. Then all of a sudden, Unspeakable Joy came in my soul from Douglas Miller. So I'm like, joy, 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 unspeakable joy. Right, so it came to my mind, right? Then when I rose this, I don't have no doubt. That came up next, Georgia Mass Choir. Then I was, Jesus will work it out. Jesus will work it out, right? And that's Dr. Charles Hayes in the Cosmetology Church of Prayer and Choir. More abundantly, I come that you might have life more abundantly. Y'all know, right? By this time, Chioke, I'm directing the choir. I'm just saying. By this time, I'm up in my office directing the choir. We're gonna have to do the choir at least one more time so I can get the directing out of my blood. And then he's been good, and I love him. He's been good, right? So we was all over the place this morning. So that's one of my tools. I will hustle and shout in a minute in my office all by myself. I do it all the time, right? Anybody looking at the windows, they like, what the heck is happening up there? All right. So another tool is our self-love mantra that I invite you to. It says, I am an irreplaceable, unrepeatable, remarkable miracle with my own special brand of brilliance. Again, I am an irreplaceable, unrepeatable, remarkable miracle with my own special brand of brilliance. I invite you to say that. Say it, lyric. Say it, honey. I am an irreplaceable, and that is impossible to replace, unrepeatable, not able to be done again, remarkable, uncommon, and extraordinary miracle. This is my favorite one. A surprising and welcomed event. It's a fly. A surprising and welcomed event. So the numbers are back on. Call in. Feel free to call in. I enjoyed it. I appreciate every one of you who call in. Y'all know I just love it. Every show that I'm privileged to host, you will be invited to be in action in two ways. Always towards your life's goals. Lean into the dream that Papa has dreamed for you. And then help me to add more love into the world. I've already invited you to the More Love Please movement. Join the movement. Thank you. $13 a month or $150 to sponsor one show. But that helps us to add more love into the world. Having these conversations, as people come here, they leave here with tools on how to love themselves better and how to love others better. We need more of that, okay? So what commitment is it that you need to fulfill? I'm inviting you to fulfill that commitment. If you only listen to me and you don't do anything else, there's only 34% chance. That's inspiration that you will fulfill it. But if you create a plan, you increase that fulfillment to 91%. If you share the plan, share it with me, self-love at drcatherinejames.com. You increase that to 99% fulfillment. Now, we already talked about how you can help. And it is my intent that every soul knows love and knows that they are loved. That's my life's intention. So I love well, and I am never, ever, ever, ever without love. Not never. Get the books. So we've got self-love, Gifts You Give Yourself. That's our seminal work, and that will help you. And then we have our newest work, Freedom is Our Birthright. That's emotional freedom. That's talking about my journey of discovering scarcity that was in my mind. All right. And social media, be sure to join me on my socials. If you desire to experience more of these love conversations, there are plenty of them on my website. Well, not on my website. On YouTube channel, Dr. Catherine E. James. You can get it on Instagram, and you can join me at 5:40 a.m. for 20 minutes every weekday morning, and here every week, either live or replay, but you're going to get me and my guests. And of course, so join us here at 11:30. Remember, the conversations, tools, and strategies offered on this show is not intended as a substitute for official mental health practice. If you are in need of service, be sure to seek out a mental health professional. Look, I am a mental health professional, but that's not what this is. So if you need help beyond what this provides, don't short sell yourself and those who love you. Go get help, beloved. Dr. Martin Luther King said, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. One day I'm going to memorize this. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You don't have to know Plato and Aristotle to serve. You don't have to know Einstein's theory of relativity to serve. You don't have to know the second theory of thermodynamics in physics to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. You can be that servant. Yvonne Woods was that servant. I am looking for a world where we duplicate how Yvonne Woods loved. This has been so look out for 713 Yvonne's World. The nonprofit is coming. This has been Dr. Catherine E. James serving you for the love of it on WHPR TV Detroit. I love you. I will see you soon.
You know what? Excellence is what you want, and excellence is what you get. How are you living? What are you giving? If excellence is what you see, then excellent is who you be.